Okay, so let's just dive right in. We're living in a world that's, well, it's run by code, right? By these invisible instructions making decisions for us, pretty much every single second of the day. But what happens when that code, that system we're supposed to trust, gets it catastrophically wrong?
Just think about that for a second. This isn't some far off hypothetical question anymore. It's a question we are being forced to answer right now. Because, honestly, it's already happening. And the consequences are very, very real. I mean, from our financial markets to our own personal safety, the stakes have literally never been higher.
To really understand the problem, we first have to appreciate just how deep these systems are woven into the fabric of our lives. You can think of them as our invisible co-pilots, guiding us through an incredibly complex world. I mean, every single day, we put an incredible amount of trust in them. We trust them to pick our music, to manage our money, to even operate heavy machinery. We've kind of come to see them as super efficient, logical, maybe even infallible. And that implicit trust, that's really the foundation of our modern world. But it's a foundation with some pretty serious cracks. Because when that trust is broken, that whole illusion of digital perfection just gets shattered. And often, the consequences are devastating. We're not talking about minor bugs or little glitches here.
When you look at the real world consequences, a pretty clear pattern starts to emerge. Back in 2010, you had high speed trading algorithms that triggered a flash crash, wiping out nearly $1 trillion of value in just minutes. Then in 2018, an Uber self driving car's algorithm completely failed to identify a person in its path. And over 2 years, a flawed flight control system on the Boeing 737 MAX led to the tragic deaths of 346 people. These are not isolated incidents. They are symptoms of a much, much deeper problem. Which, of course, brings us to the crucial question. How can systems that are designed for precision and logic fail so badly? Is it really just some random glitch in the code? Well, the answer, as it turns out, is a lot more human than you might think. Because behind every algorithm, every single line of code, there's a human element. And that's where we find the real source of these failures. In our own limitations, our own biases, and our blind spots. One of the biggest challenges is something experts call the black box problem. See, modern AI is so complex that, well, we can see the data that goes in and the decision that comes out, but the reasoning in between, it's a complete mystery. We literally can't ask the machine why it made a certain choice, which is, honestly, it's terrifying when that choice is a matter of life and death.
And here's something that is absolutely crucial to understand. Algorithms learn from data. That's it. They don't have ethics, they don't have common sense, they just find patterns. So if the historical data we feed them is already full of human bias, the algorithm isn't just going to learn that bias, it's going to amplify it. It's going to execute it with ruthless technological efficiency.
And this has a massive real-world impact. For example, there's an algorithm called Compass. It was used in U.S. courts to predict who was likely to commit a crime in the future, and it showed significant racial bias. Just look at this case. You have two people, nearly identical criminal histories, charged with the same minor crime. The only real difference is their race. The algorithm flags the black defendant as high risk and the white defendant as a low risk. This is just a stark, undeniable example of how an algorithm designed to be objective can end up just reproducing and even scaling up the biases that were already in its training data. These individual failures are alarming enough on their own, right? But when you zoom out, you start to see how they create these massive ripple effects, warping our society in ways we're only just beginning to wrap our heads around. It's not just one bad loan application or one messed up newsfeed. It's social media algorithms that are pushing us into these polarized echo chambers. It's predictive policing that unfairly targets minority communities. It's a constant erosion of our privacy and a persistent threat to our global financial and even physical infrastructure. This is the true societal cost of getting it wrong.
So, what's the path forward? I mean, do we just pull the plug on all of it? No, not at all. The solution isn't to reject technology, but to build it more responsibly, with a lot more foresight and a really deep sense of accountability. So, there's actually a blueprint for how we can do this. It starts with transparency. We've got to break open those black boxes with something called explainable AI. Next, we need rigorous, independent audits to make sure these systems are actually accountable for their decisions. And this can't just be a job for engineers either. It needs collaboration with ethicists and social scientists right from day one. And finally, and this is so important, for the most critical decisions, we must always keep a human in the loop. Technology should assist human judgment, not replace it.
The crucial takeaway here is this. This isn't about being anti-technology or anti-progress. Not at all. It's about being pro-responsibility. It's about making sure that the amazing tools we build actually serve humanity's best interests, not its worst instincts. Because ultimately, these powerful systems are just a reflection of us, our data, our priorities, our flaws. So as we continue to build this automated world, the question we all really need to be asking ourselves is, what version of ourselves do we want our technology to see? And what kind of world do we want it to build?